Hey there, good morning. Or good morning for me anyway. So, I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you are experiencing a good fall so far, or spring, depending on where you're at in the world. So, we're having a beautiful fall here. And where do I want to put my glasses? I think I'll leave them on. And just really feeling the change of season, right? Feeling the changing of the frequencies that the seasons bring. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today has to do with a follow-up from the last video that I did last week on quick fixes or true essence. You choose, right? We get to choose the experience in which we want to live our lives. And as we continue to evolve and transform and go through our awakening process, that process is all about frequency. So it's taken on different shapes and forms for sure over different phases and stages of our development, of our awakening process. And now, for those of you who are in that devotional space, right, to your evolution, to your transformation, to really coming back to remembering who you are at the core of your being, then this is for you. Because who we are at the core of our being is a very high frequency. And what I call this, or what it's called, right, is, you got different names for it. Your soul signature frequency, your divine signature, your divine blueprint is part of your soul signature. I really like the term true essence. And this part of us is always present. It's always been here. But because of the density of the earth plane, because of we came here as souls to drop into the forgetfulness of who we truly are and move through this evolutionary experiment, we could say, this remembrance of why we're here, who we are, and our connection to everything that is alive and that pulses with, life force and vim and vigor. And we truly are the expressions of joy, of peace, of love, of compassion, right? The powers of the divine is us. But it's just not quite so simple, right? Because most of us, it's like, well, we can't even find that. I don't feel that at all. I feel disconnected from that. I feel maybe hopeless and depressed and struggling. That's part of the journey, right? And that is the invitation then to the work. Anybody who's here listening understands that. It's the inner work. It's the inner healing and resolution and calling our soul power back into an embodied place. And we're all going to be at different phases and stages of this journey. But what I love about where we're at now, right? And when I say that, I mean the potential that we as humanity knows that we're here to access is now revealing so much freedom. So if you're in the beginning stages, just keep going, right? Keep doing, keep unwinding and peeling that onion, because it's faster now than it used to be, right? You're not having to trudge through as much density. So the key is to choose to believe that everything can be different, and it starts within us. So what I want to do today is I just want to touch on a couple points about our soul signature. And those are going to look like understanding that our soul signature is a blueprint and it connects us through all the realms and directly to the divine source. So I call that like the inner sonar. That frequency, energies, states of consciousness are our guides to access the more purified state of our true essence, or the jewel of the divine, right? That's kind of what I came up with today. It just like spoke to me like, oh yeah, this is the inner jewel within us. And we're either unpeeling it or we're polishing it, however that resonates for you. But what we're doing is we're remembering that we have this, and then we're allowing it to grow and shine brighter from within. And the unveiling, right? The unveiling of that light within us. And then why do we do it, right? What is the outcome? And do we believe that we can have an outcome that actually truly delivers us into a freer, more enlivened state of being within and create that reality? So, I have to say for myself, I think I didn't really get it or know it or believe it until 2015, 2016, which was when I actually started teaching, or rather speaking, the light language. That was a game changer because it worked directly with frequency that was awakening specific qualities and states of being within me. So this is why I work with frequency so much in the moon meditations and in the embodied moments, because these are a vehicle for you, for all of us. I use them, they come through to help me as well, to acclimate to a very different vibration. That is when I started getting glimpses and more moments, right, of my life where I was happy, joyous, and free. And it's when I first understood, in AA, there are the promises that, the promises are what we will receive, right, as we get sober, as we continue to do that healing work. They don't call it that, but that's really what's happening as we come into integrity, as we resolve our causes and conditions of why we were addicts or alcoholics. So, part of what's important to that is where I came from is not who I am now at all. And how I am living a life now that is like 80% happy, joyous, and free, and the other 20% I can navigate with more ease and grace, is because of the blessings, literally, of this evolutionary process and all of the assistance that we have multidimensionally for our embodiment. So let me talk about the inner sonar really quick, and not going to go into all the details of this. If you feel called to work with this, definitely reach out, find out about private sessions, and I'm happy to continue to help you more intimately and directly to do this work if you're not really sure how to do it. Totally get that. So the inner sonar, we can say, is these inner voices, these inner promptings, say you're sort of bridled in a lot of density and a lot of hardship in your life, or you're in a phase of that where you're kind of struggling. And then every now and then, right, there's sort of like this impulse. There's this inner guidance. There's this, it's the sonar, right? It's this sonar that kind of tries to lead you to something that really reveals to you, oh, okay, this is why, or this is different, right? This can be different. Or you just had a breakthrough in a deep healing process and you're like, whoa, I see clearer now. That's your inner sonar. That is your true essence starting to break through because you're listening, because you're saying yes, because you're open to receive at any given moment, or because you've cleared away a layer of that onion. And now you get like a glimpse. It might be short, but know that that's exactly where you want to be. You want to be feeling that. And if you're already on this trajectory, that sonar gets clearer and clearer, and that becomes that alignment that you're following all the time. And it keeps you moving through life with clarity, ease, grace, and continuous upliftment. So frequency is going to be the soul signature. You have your own unique soul signature. That is yours and yours alone. It holds all of the codes, all of the information of your blueprint that informs you of your highest potential. That you can choose to listen and follow your heart-soul connection, your deeper intuition, your deeper alignment, that then matches specific frequencies through life that support you in accessing and enlivening different frequencies within your being that connect you directly to divine source and your own soul signature. So, for me, one of my first breakthroughs was right before, and maybe as I started doing the light language. I was sort of in this underworld phase of deep divine feminine initiation process. And it was carrying a lot of heaviness and density and melancholy. Melancholy was sort of my comfort zone. It was unresolved grief, but I'd found a place of landing in it where I was able to accept it and really feel like I could hold it without needing to get away from it. And by doing that, the grief resolved, and yet the melancholy was sort of that kind of bittersweet feeling state inside of me. And then as the light language just started coming through, melancholy shifted into a deep peace. Okay, so we're literally talking about embodied states of being and emotions that are frequencies that carry a specific resonance that then guide and play out over our life. So as the light language continued to come through, no more melancholy was there, but I felt this expansion of I was at peace with my entire life. The good, the bad. The places that I'd been struggling with began to lose the struggle, and I was able to trust in something bigger and deeper, and relax and let go of the struggle and allow peace to then transform for me into joy. I didn't do it. I didn't plan on it. I didn't even know that's where I was going. But the divine connection that was growing palpably because of the light language began to then uptick and shift my frequencies and those states of being to grow me from within. And from that point on, joy led the way for years. And everything shifted and transformed. So my soul signature was shifted, or my soul signature was able to shift me from melancholy to peace into joy. And the more that that happened, the more that the layers of the onion got peeled away with much more ease and grace. And then I, moved into love. So love has been the dominating force that has been guiding me for probably the last 4 or 5 years. Personal love and expanded divine love. So these frequencies of our soul signature, of our true essence, become guides that support our growth. So the next point is this unveiling that happens, right? And that unveiling is our healing. The healing of pain and suffering, dropping the pain of suffering. As we do that, our light is able to shine forth, and we're able to access more and more of our soul signature and true essence. The jewel of our divinity begins to shine forth more brightly for us, and then it radiates out into the world. And then it attracts more of that to us until we hit a bump of another, I call it the sup pump, stuff that comes up that's got to be resolved, that's got to be released, that's got to be healed. And then, we feel that squeeze of challenge, that difficulty. It's okay. Because when we're working with the frequencies, when we're consciously doing this process, we get through each stage. And our faith and trust, which also are frequencies of the divine, grow within us. And we just know that this is just part of the process. We don't have to take it seriously. We don't have to get weighed down by it. It doesn't mean it's not hard sometimes, but we get to keep choosing something different than feeling stuck in the quagmire or pulled under by the lessons that are clearing. And they come to reveal more light. So what is the outcome? Why do we do this? Because we transform. Because we change who we are inside, and our life changes. What most of you probably don't see, who don't know me, and who, on camera you don't see it as much until I get really passionate, right? So I always point out when people say, gosh, have you always been this happy? Have you always been, this joyful, this light? No. And I literally have the lines, right, of the deep anger and pain and suffering, right there, that I literally carried through half of my life. But we don't have to stay in that, right? And you know that because you're here. And at the same time, we have to keep remembering there's always new phases and stages, and we get to choose them. We might find comfort, like, yeah, things are okay right now. Things are pretty good. I think I'm content here. That's awesome. If that is truly your aligned choice. And to be willing and to listen maybe when that alignment begins to shift and your soul signature really wants you on a trajectory of coming more into really knowing your divinity. Because that's where we're going. We are coming into knowing that we are part and parcel of the divine, with the divine, vehicles and vessels to walk the divine love and essence through our true essence onto this planet. And then we become these pillars of high frequency that transform everything and everyone around us, right? You're important. Your coming home to your true essence is important. It's needed. It's necessary. The devotion for this is important, not only for you, but also for me, right? For our families, for humanity. We are here to hold a different experience, to uplift this plane into a new earth reality. And it doesn't happen overnight. But if you're here, right, and if you've listened this far, you've got the boots on the ground. So just know that the journey is continual and you have support always. Seen, right? And other people who are doing this work, and unseen. So allow that grace to guide you. Allow that enthusiasm of, wow, what is the magic and wonder that I could really live in and live as? And how would my life unfold then to reveal more of my soul purpose, right? And so the last thing I'm going to say, our soul purpose actually changes and shifts as we continue to come into deeper levels of our true essence. Our ways of service change. Our ways of relating to others changes. Our ways of holding life and the sacredness and the beauty of all of life blooms even more fully. So, those are my notes. All right. If you haven't yet, if this speaks to you, if this resonates with you, please subscribe below and continue to stay with this small but growing community. And give a like if you'd like. Give a like if you'd like. And feel free to reach out. Links are below. The links are also below if you'd like to explore the weekly embodied moments, activations, and the moon time activations and meditations. All right. Much love. Blessings.